We know about our guy Logan Thomas. Again, dealing with injuries and trying to come back from all that. What are your thoughts on this, man?
This is the really interesting part of the offseason is what do we do with Logan Thomas? Because he is due in 2024 for a salary increase to make $8 million a year. And if they were to cut him, he is only a dead cap of less than $2 million. So you're going to have a $6 to $7 million savings on Logan Thomas that you could reallocate somewhere else. If we're already going to have $70 to $80 million, you add that on top of it, you're going to be able to get, you're going to be able to put that into a more to a player that maybe it's another starter for you, an impact player. So that's where it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely think it's time for us to move on from Logan Thomas. And shout out to Ab, who 3 years ago was saying we need to get ahead of this and we need to move on from him. But I mean, unfortunately, we know none of us would have been able to, predict the injury and how all that stuff played out. And he was able to get paid. But to your point, I just don't. Again, it's about justifying this money on the books, and I just don't think that we can give this guy this money because I think we are in another direction. Especially at the very least, we know we're going to go faster. We know we're going to start to maybe use tempo, maybe start stretch the field, that type of stuff. With Logan's injuries, he can't do that right now. You know what I mean? And who knows? He might get back, to full health or whatever. But I do think it might be – I think it'll be very beneficial for us to go elsewhere and get a tight end. You mentioned Ertz. I love that. I absolutely love that. We were looking at who was it? Irv Smith last year. I like that. Let's get a guy that can play that maybe his upside is his blocking. You know what I mean? I mean, look, we've seen what Bates can do. You know what I mean? He's a blocker and a possession receiver, but he's not separating from anybody. I still think we need somebody that can separate, and I think we could potentially get that later in the draft. But I'm focused right now as far as us on kind of, I hate to say this, but wiping our hands of Logan Thomas and kind of moving on from him. And I mean, and not even in no ill will. I mean, he's done great for us, but I think his time has kind of come. He was one of those guys that was premier in Ron Rivera's system and everything, and it worked great for that time. But I think his time is run out with us.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.